Yesterday, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got bow from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
I'm not even on here, but hey, it's Friday morning. Let's play with this. Man,
Let's just adjust that a little bit there. Yeah, I'll move in and you move in a little
yeah,
bit.
we'll just squeeze.
Yeah.
We'll squeeze towards the end. I don't know. There, we're in there. Now.
That's perfect.
Who knows? Welcome in to the grounds where we talk from anything from politics to peanut butter, but no politics. Shout outs to the people who have supported us for the longest of time. Our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness, www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. If you are stressed, they'll help you be blessed. Deep tissue massage, acupuncture, Thai yoga massage, hot stone, couples massage, you name it, they'll massage you with it. And of course, our good friends over at JH Events and Flowers. Nothing says, hey, it's a good day more than a bundle of flowers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is get some flowers. Give them to your husband, give them to your partner, give them to your dog. I don't care. jhflowersandevents.com, 2 locations, one in McHenry, one in Fox Lake, right across from the train station, which is good.
No, it occurs to me for the first time that the sponsors for this show make, if you put them together, you've got a really good anniversary package.
Hey, right?
You know, get some flowers,
Or
do a couples massage.
Or a get out of the silent treatment.
Yeah, get out of jail free card all day. Yeah. And if you haven't messed up yet, you know, you can always prevent it, you know, set it up for the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course, Uncle Pete's right there with the stream. Throw that baby into the URL and join the show. The most unique show here at 216 Creator Studios. And just jump in and talk with us. Today, Steve, why is there nothing new?
And boy, you know, okay, so we talked about this the other day about like, what are we going to talk about? Why is there nothing new? And then I went home and I thought about this, and it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, just the sheer amount of nothing new out there, the insane amount of content that is put before us every day, and not one thing that I can think of that's new and original. And it's wild. Everything's a remake or a part 2 or a retelling of a classic story.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes that's okay. Look at every movie they've ever made off of a Shakespeare play.
Sure.
Right. For the modern age. And I'm not talking about the travesty with Leo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet. That was using guns, speaking in iambic pentameter like that. I know people like go nuts for that. I don't understand that one. But you had said Roundhouse. Yeah. I didn't see it. Any good?
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah, sorry, Roadhouse.
Well, I saw the original. I haven't seen the remake.
With Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he's just punching everything.
Yeah.
From my understanding. Drew has seen it. But not only that, but even if we go away from movies and whatnot, take a look at the automobiles.
Okay.
We have gone away from sedans to SUVs.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at the 1940s body style, outside of the big wheel wells on the fenders, we've basically gone back into that.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything kind of looks bubbly, big. Is it a car? Is it not a car? So we've gotten away from the sedans, right? Where as a kid in 2024, I thought we would be like, flying cars and stuff. Right?
Yeah, Jetsons said we would be. They lied to us.
Yeah. So even if we take a look at that, take a look at the trucks now.
Yeah.
The trucks now look more like the trucks of olden days too.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing new.
My buddy actually just bought a Model A, so it's funny.
Really?
Yeah, he just went and got one. But it is because it's the first hatchback. You know,
Mhm.
You're looking at it, and it looks like a slightly fancier PT Cruiser with the extra wheels set on the side there.
Yeah.
And that's funny. Yeah, and part of that is nostalgia. I think.
Oh, yeah.
We
Hey,
want to circle
Shayna,
back
good
to the
morning.
styles. Morning, Shayna.
There's absolutely, I get, there's that old saying, there's no original thought left in the world.
Yeah.
Right. But there's nothing new.
It's all the same rehashed. And I think part of it is a fondness for the past that you never experienced. So, you always think back to a time before you were alive.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you hear stories and over time these stories become grand. And it's like, it's strange to think about let's go to the founding fathers, right? Okay. Sitting around having a beer, just telling stupid jokes. And they did it, but that's not how we see them in our minds. And I think the way we build the past up, it's like, let's get back to this place where things were great. And it's like, well, let's come up with something new. But that's also a lot harder, isn't it?
Right. Hey, Heather, good morning. I'm here too, just slamming coffee. Love it, Heather. Me too.
I just want to clarify that that's not real coffee. It is a mix of 2 parts decaf, 1 part caffeinated, and it's just a travesty to everything coffee stands for.
It's the grounds. You can have it because this is actually the grounds. The idea of give anybody out there listening, give me the last thing that you knew was new. Is it just me? I'm with you, Shayna. Shayna says, is it just me or we reliving the 60s? So true.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. I mean, the only thing different, if you look at television now, right, streaming, whatever. Yesterday, Carol Burnett was easy for you to say. Carol Burnett got her hands and feet outside of the Chinese theater, right, for a lifetime achievement. Or she's 91.
Yeah.
Right now, if you know and you like to laugh, you go back and watch any of the Carol Burnett show. Yeah, and you can't help but laugh. But we don't have that kind of show anymore.
No, not like live studio audience, variety show, a little bit of comedy. No,
right. We don't. Saturday Night Live is the closest thing we have. Insane Dino, what's happening? Good to see you. 50-50, Steve. 6 cups have to cut back somehow. Knock it down to 3, but put it 100% caffeine.
Yeah, right.
You take a look at that, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I was talking to my mom about on my last visit to Iowa a couple weeks ago was MASH.
Okay, yeah.
MASH, a sitcom, very satire about the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the sitcom on the Iraq War?
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Now we're going back to horrible movies with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. Maybe it's more like The Fall of Rome.
Well, in that regard, I think we have come a long way losing our sense of humor over time. Let's remake things that are safe and easy for people to handle.
Yeah.
Things that are marketable. A lot of why there's nothing new out comes down to money. What are people going to buy? Well, people are going to buy things if we remake what sold in the past.
That's it. Cappuccino, good morning, says no new superheroes. I mean, how many times are we going to remake Fast and the Furious? Hey, let's get in a bunch of... You know what that was called? That was called the Dukes of Hazzard every Friday. You see the cars racing around.
It's not fair that Drew's going to bring up superheroes and not be here in person. This is ridiculous because I want to go right now. Let's
talk about the superheroes. Let's nerd out a little bit.
All right. of what's new, Invincible came out. That was awesome. Sandman is becoming increasingly popular, not new, but within the last 2 decades. That was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And then The Watchmen, which is based off of a graphic novel that I guess now we're talking like 25 years ago.
So it's not new.
So no, but it also hasn't been relevant in the last 20 years. So there you go. But like when it came out, it was new. But like, yeah, Invincible's not bad, you know.
Don says, good morning, and Baghdad Bob is the new Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. As far as comedies go, Heather says, I think everyone is more cynical now. No, nobody's got a sense of humor, and they can all go screw themselves. That's what
Yeah.
You know, there's that old joke, fuck them if they can't take a joke, literally.
Yep.
Yeah, so it started with it started with the superheroes coming back, Captain, I don't even know who, right? But I mean, the Hulk, Superman, Batman. How many Batman movies do we have?
And they're just taking what sells and they're rocking with it, and it's crazy. I mean, okay, let's not even talk about Batman for a second, because Batman is the hero he sells, right? How many Joker movies are we going to have to sit through?
Oh yeah,
that's one Batman villain. That's not even, he's got so many more.
Listen, we as Americans idolize the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all you got to say is John Gotti. All you got to, Scarface. You take a look at, we love these people.
Well, I blame Heath Ledger for making it so damn sexy.
Yeah.
That was his fault originally. And then since then, they've just been like, oh, let's get other male sex icons to play the Joker.
Yeah, I like what Shayna says. There isn't enough produced content for the existing platforms. Live podcasts offer an authentic and often humorous entertainment. Goodfellas, yeah. See, that's what I mean. We love those. And I'm with you. There's a lot of great stuff out there. So many funny people now. But the idea of show me a funny sitcom nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
It's funny. My favorite, what I would say is my favorite sitcom right now is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
And then obviously Arrested Development, they did a fantastic job. But Arrested Development and Always Sunny, I would say just come from the formula of Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You go back. I watch Seinfeld, and I'm like, and it's still pretty. It's so well written that it holds a lot of it. You can see today, like
it is.
Oh yeah. I see that today. Yeah. Don says, I often say the only true reality TV is sports. Although some folks like to think some are scripted. I mean, do you really think Rory McIlroy is going to miss that 2-foot putt? Never mind. That's just a conspiracy that I'm saying. Hasn't missed one all year inside of 3 feet, and he misses 2 in the last 3 holes. Don, come on. It's not scripted. We had to give it to who? We had to give it to Bryson DeChambeau, who's popular on what? YouTube.
Let's
It's not scripted.
Let's talk about that MLB and the umpires right now.
Hey, what umpires?
Right. Right. Every other major country that runs baseball is using the AI strike box.
Right.
It's so efficient that the announcers can call it a strike or foul. They could call it right off the bat before the ump does. The ump calls it. They've already said, "Oh, that was a strike." Ump says, "Oh, it wasn't a strike." They're like, "Wait, that's a horrible call."
Right.
Like the announcers are calling out the umps now. And then, the big theory right now is that it's scripted to make people watch baseball.
Heather says Rory choked is all. I don't know. Name a new sport.
Oh, that's crazy.
There is a new sport out there, but it's an old sport. And I see it. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like basketball without a backboard and you can't dribble. And it's just a pole with a hoop on it. And ladies, I don't know what pickleball is new. Yeah, no, pickleball is actually wiffle ball tennis that you played in your backyard.
Yeah, it's just you're standing on a table tennis court.
Right.
Right. And curling made a burst onto the scene. This is about 10 years back. Nobody was familiar with curling. Then all of a sudden, it's an Olympic sport. You've got big dudes from Wisconsin that just chug beer all the time. Now they're out on the ice as they're Olympic athletes. Yeah. I felt like Randy Quaid in Kingpin. He walks in and all the guys are drinking scotch and smoking cigars. And he's like, wow, it's so intimidating to be in the presence of such great athletes. That's what curling is to me, where I watch it. I'm like, wow, that's an Olympic athlete for you.
Yeah. I don't know. The X Games have come up with a bunch of new sports. I mean, there's, who knew that taking your snowmobile and flipping it 3 times and landing it is a sport, but
it's impressive.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I would rather watch that than most other things.
Yeah.
The fear of death definitely adds something to it. But Dave Grohl said the same thing recently. Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters in Nirvana. He said that the reason that we're not seeing anything new or exciting is because it's all formulaic. You go on people these days think that you go on a reality show, you audition, you sing, then America votes for you, and then now you're just the next big original thing. And he's like, it's the death of the music industry. Going on shows like X Factor and American Idol, going up there and just getting your fame that way.
And for Ryan Seacrest, thanks for tuning in. Of course, Dave Grohl, appreciate you for tuning in as well. Well, that's why I say if American Idol can get 6 million voters this episode, why does it take us so long to figure out who the president is?
Yeah. We should be able to just text in.
Shouldn't we be able to go, all right, you voted for your guy. All right. Anyway, chefs are competing now. Yeah. That's been fun watching that. Yeah.
Well, and it's not a critique on competitions, but it's, how many competition shows are there? That does go with the theme of the show. You start with American Idol. Now we've got glass blowing competitions. We got Forged in Fire. How fast can you make a sword?
That's fun.
Okay, it is a lot of fun. Of course, it's a lot of fun. Same thing with makeup artists have their own version now. RuPaul.
That's a good show too. Right?
Fantastic show.
Yeah,
Drag Race is a great show.
That's right.
But we've got all these competition shows, and they weren't popular. Now they are popular, and none of it's original. Yeah. It was the same thing with like Big Brother, and now we've got all these reality shows. Survivor.
We don't talk politics, but I will say this: Shana says political strategy is reaching gladiator status. Is that a sport? Yes, and are the 2 people who are running for the most powerful position in the United States. Their feat of strength is you have to stand up through a 90-minute debate.
Okay, if you take our presidential candidates right now and you put them in an arena the way they were going to have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson go into an arena. Yeah. That would sell more tickets than any other boxing match in history. You put them in the octagon, it's over.
It's over. It's done.
You've officially broken pay-per-view numbers.
And again, still nothing new.
Right.
If we go back to the superheroes and the comics, a lot of these superheroes came back from the 60s. As Shana says, are we reliving the 60s? 3 people, of course, but they're trying to keep Kennedy out. And Heather says in extreme slow motion. It would be great. There was, what was that one on MTV? Deathmatch.
Celebrity Deathmatch.
That's what we need.
With the claymation.
That's what we need for this round of voting. Yeah, I hope bowling never makes it to the Olympics. Here's something that's new.
Okay.
I guess, and I'm going to say this because I did this on Father's Day. Axe throwing.
Yeah.
The Native Americans threw a lot of them. Hatchets.
Of course.
Right?
Tomahawks.
But as far as like a sport in a bar where you can get drunk,
which I think is crazy, but it may, my dad had steel tip darts at his bar my whole life, which is no less crazy than throwing an axe.
Axe throwing is pretty. It's harder than it looks. There's a little skill. You can't like throw it. You got to like stiff arm it like an Indian.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Indian. And I'm going to say casino, not
reservation
not
style.
7-Eleven.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Feathers, not
Yeah.
dots.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there we go.
I do that to my mom all the time.
Yeah.
When she says Indian, I'm always like, oh, you want curry tonight? And she's like, no, not that type of Indian. It's like, well, but no, axe throwing. Where'd you go? Spartan?
No, Twisted Limits over in McHenry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's, right over there by the BMO.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what?
And our good friends at BMO, well, thank you as well. They're coming back in the next couple of weeks. Is going to be Roger That Chronicles, brought to you through the financial support of BMO.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so me, my wife, and 3 daughters all went and we threw axes. I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
Never thought, Don says it is pretty fun. I never thought that my 3 daughters and wife would have a good time whipping an axe.
Yeah.
But they did. I can have fun pretty much anywhere with anything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just chucking an axe at a wall.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where if you're like me, I'm like, I'm throwing this thing to see how far I get it stuck in that wood. Right. And I'm putting some heat behind it to try to get it there.
Oh, I did the same thing.
You know?
I can pretty consistently throw an axe when a couple times. That's by far one of my favorite bar sports.
Yeah.
I am horrible at darts.
Back in the day in my 20s and 30s when I was frequenting bars.
Yeah.
I was never good, but you could hold your own. It's like shooting pool. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a couple shots here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love pool. Great at pool. Great at table tennis.
Yeah.
Horrible. Have no ability to throw a dart. And then of course, as the night progresses, I get progressively worse.
So big?
I don't know what it is. That's got to be it. But then yeah. And then the more I drink, the less I care about the darts. Because now they're going wild. Like I hit the board, not like
excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, but no, you give me an axe and a beer,
It's
you feel like a Viking. You're like, yeah.
Did you see Loudermilk?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So Regan shows up. He's got the dart. He said, people are leaving the bar after you're throwing darts. Like, oh man. Well, that's it.
Matt does plastic tip for his own safety when we play.
Violent ping pong. Here's a new sport. I just saw this the other day. It's ping pong with a soccer ball.
Soccer ping pong. Yeah, and the curved table.
Yeah.
That's so impressive. It's so
crazy.
Impressive. The fact that they can do a jumping back kick, land on their back, and get up in time to hit it again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going as hard as a ping pong player does in the pros.
But with a soccer ball.
And it's nuts.
And it's 1-on-1,
Yeah.
1v1.
You only get the one bounce. So if it hits your
Yeah.
knee, you got to bounce it, hit it,
Yeah.
and then it's got to go across. And that's
go.
crazy.
Yeah. I have seen that. Oh my God, this is new.
Slap fighting.
Let's talk about this. Power slapping.
Yeah.
What in the name of blue Jesus is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you and I going, okay, I got to put my hands behind my back. You slap the shit out of you got.
No, that is just like being like, hey, I want to arm wrestle you, but I got too much cocaine in my system. Let's just slap the hell out of each other. And then the chalk for what? Just to add a poof?
I know.
Like it's not helping. You're not preventing anything by putting chalk on your hands, but they do. And I think it's literally just so it's more dramatic when they hit your face and it explodes with the chalk.
Right.
The women's league is even funnier to me. They braid their hair up all tight like they're UFC fighters.
Yeah, they get in gear like they're UFC
Yep,
fighters.
that was the mouth guard, and then they just slap each other. My favorite.
They're knocking people out.
My favorite is the walk away. When somebody walks away while passing out and then they do like the somersault, that's my favorite part about that.
And you got 6 dudes around you.
Or you could see, and you see it every time it connects. Like their nostrils are flaring, like they're angry, and it's like, whoa, that's.
Well, listen, Shayna, I imagine there's a big move to stop it because of the danger. A lot of money in it right now for people, obviously.
Yeah.
Why haven't we stopped boxing? That's like the concussions for the NFL. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm a boxer. You're punching me literally in the head.
Yep.
That's concussion.
Yep. Punching people in the head.
Every blow is a concussion.
Well, and MMA. You know, how many times has somebody accidentally gotten them in the back of the skull right here where they had to do actual physical therapy over months at a time? Like, you know, and you're not stopping it. Two guys get into it. They're in a grapple. Somebody's going to accidentally get punched right there in the back of the head. Again. And it's over.
Again, though, not new. We did this in the Colosseums.
Of course. Yeah. Grappling.
Yeah. You know, and gladiator. Hey, get in there. Right? I mean, all we got to do now is throw a lion into that cage and, you know, let's have a little fun.
See, I'm down to watch that as long as the lion doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want him to hurt the lion.
Animal rights.
Yeah. I care more about the lion.
That's right. But that slapping is I don't, and every time I see it, I'm like, why in God's green, what makes a woman or a man go, you know what, I'm going to hang up my engineering degree and I'm going on the world slap tour.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. I just want a huge man with just to slap me. No, I'm not mad at him. He's not mad at me, but
right. We're going to go have a beer afterward.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I'll tell you why. It's to feel alive.
Have you seen the one where the dude slaps and the way the guy moves his head looks like his head does a 360?
Oh yeah.
I've tried to slow that down. I'm like, how is that happening?
The whiplash from that.
My. I'm telling you. Escape rooms. Again. Yeah. Is that a new? I mean, it's been around for a while now, but is that a new thing? Go ahead.
No, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah, go with it.
I think of a more appropriate analogy. No, they've been around forever.
Creepy.
More popular now. Yeah. Certainly more popular now in America.
Right. I mean, the guy who came up with it actually had several children at his house.
Yeah.
When the FBI came in there, he's like, no, it's a game. It's an escape room. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Luckily, the FBI guy looked on the bottom of the lamp and pulled out the code, so they saved them all.
There are some folks I wish would not escape. It's to me, you know, as we talked about this in the Aegis Solutions green room the other day, is I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, and now it's been on me. What is new? Is there anything really new? So then I started looking at technology.
Okay. Well, see, yeah. So innovation is always getting newer.
Is it or improved?
Improved.
Is it newer or is it improved?
Well, I mean, yeah, you know, that depends. That depends how you look at it. Yeah. Usually the need for it. I mean, technically Wi-Fi was invented during World War II.
Right.
So, but we're moving forward. Social media as a concept is newer.
Yep.
That's you're looking at like 2003 now, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
But then everybody after that was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And I'm sure the guy who Zuckerberg back then was like, you know what would be great is if instead of using this Rolodex, I could just click on your face. Right. So he's looking at a Rolodex, you know, is it new? It's new enough for me to consider it something new.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, so I went right to automobiles. I love automobiles. Now they can kind of drive themselves.
Yep. Self-driving cars.
Right. So that's maybe new.
It's probably as close as you're going to get to individually manned flying vehicles in a very long time.
Yeah. Right. Mobile phones, Don says, have been around all that long. Have not been around all that long. Seems like longer since they are so prevalent. I don't know. Cell phones. They had them in World War II.
Satellite phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, and then in the late 80s, the car phone was all the rage.
The bagger phone. Yeah.
But no. Okay.
Still
So
had a cord on it though.
Yeah, we're talking, you know, the actual cell phone, like the giant brick cell phone, and then going back to
Zach Morris brick.
So 2002 was when I got my first cell phone.
Yeah.
And it was a Motorola brick phone.
Yeah.
It had this rubber condom thing you put around it, but it wasn't flat. Obviously, it was brick.
Yeah.
Thing was,
the battery was bigger than the phone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But smartphones, certainly. Smartphones, the first smartphone was what? The first iPhone came out in 2006.
Yeah.
And I would consider that a newer thing. Certainly the concept, apps are a huge change in the way that we run the world. Apps are something new.
I was doing a little research for an upcoming show with us, and I was watching Cocaine Cowboys.
Nice.
Right? And they had a cell phone from like 1995 in there, and I'm like, I had that, and it was awesome. It was a flip phone, and it had two digital lines was the output, so you could see the number and the name. That was, and I'm like, and so my daughter's like, what? I go, I had that phone. I had that. It was awesome. Eddie, I was rolling around the countryside of Iowa, and there was absolutely no reception anywhere. You had to stop.
Yeah.
You had to stop whatever you're doing to find the spot that you could get it. Crazy.
I used to walk around in the backyard just to get a signal. Now you don't have to do that anywhere on the planet.
Yeah. Here's a little teaser for everybody. Speaking of nothing new, we're over the next couple of weeks. Next week here on the grounds is How Well Will It Sell? You're going to want to be here. This is going to be a good one. On the 5th of July, yep, we will be here the day after the 4th, is Cocaine Cowboys. So if you want to be a good part of that, it's a very, very interesting, but there is a Netflix documentary with that. Check that out.
You got to watch it. It's fantastic.
And then 7/12 on the 12th of July, we're going to talk about the octopus murders. If you don't know what that is, again, look into it. Big stuff. Cool. And then on the 19th of July, founder or pirate?
Oh, Columbus.
Founder or pirate? And then on the 26th, men's mental health over time. Where did the real men go? That gives you a little bit of an idea. What were we doing?
It's going to be such a good one.
Yeah. So Heather says, Ferrara, Missouri, have to go to the fire station on the hill to get back in the day. I bet. Shada says, I had the bag phone, big dollars to talk to. I know.
Okay.
It was so great.
Okay. So even with innovation, why is there nothing new? Your phone's a perfect example.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example of them circling back 20 years later and saying, you know what we need to remake? The Razor, but as a smartphone.
Oh, here it is. Look, I got the flip phone. See?
Yeah. They were like, let's take the Motorola Razor
closes, it looks like a Game Boy.
I actually really like that one. I had the one that folded sideways.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I never once opened it the whole time I had it.
Right.
Because it's not, what is that? No, you flip it open. It's a weird size.
Yeah.
Nothing fits
it. Not quite a tablet. Yeah. It's not quite a phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just sort of halfway.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this. I do check the front or watch videos of the front sometimes, but it's even small. I don't know. But I got little hands.
I enjoy that phone. I think that's cool.
Yeah. A lot of people always look at it. Hey, how do you like it? I love it. Don't you see? Yeah, you don't see the crease.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, you remember they went through a phase of trying to make them as small as humanly possible.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah. The Juke.
Yeah.
Was that little stick and it flipped up and open and I was like, I want a Juke. That's so cool.
It was nice. Yeah. Everybody wanted that. So again, a big shout out to our good friends at Natural Therapy Wellness and JH Events and Flowers. Another thing today at 3, everybody, we've got a very, 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 very special In the Know with Steph and Joe. It will be the absolute final broadcast from our McHenry studio.
Yeah.
We've now got the streets running here in conjunction with Piano Trends, and we're closing down our McHenry studio. It will be the last broadcast from that studio ever. And that's a studio, carries a lot of special memories. Uncle Pete, Rancher Ron, there's a lot of things going on. That's where 216 Creator Studios, 216 The Net, really, really sunk its teeth into being what it is. So tune in today at 3 for In the Know with Steph and Joe as we talk about failures to overcoming. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
But we'll sign off on Friday afternoon from there for the very last time from that studio.
How you feel about that?
You know what? It's tough. It's tough. A lot of emotional stuff there. You know, I sit in the corner that Uncle Pete sits in.
Yeah.
You know, that he broadcasted Uncle Pete in the morning so many times. It's a very special place. But as you grow and move on, this space here now, I mean, we've got 3 studios inside of this. We've got the Aegis Security. Aegis Solutions green room, Piano Trends room right here. Last night, what a great show with Rosaway on. We got people from Italy coming in to be part of this show. Later this summer, being part of the Rib Fest, we're going to have an interview with Jefferson Starship,
which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We so many cool things right now. Tim and some of the people from NAMM are working on getting the Grateful Dead here in studio. That's cool.
That's going to be awesome.
That's cool, right? So this is an absolute just blast. This weekend our audio studio will be done.
Fantastic.
And that's where you can do some voiceovers and stuff like that. It's going to be just, it's so fun here. It does kind of suck. I mean, the other studio is like a mile from my house. So getting there was easy.
Well, what do you, I suppose Uncle Pete would probably be like just tickled pink to see this studio.
Yeah. Uncle Pete, Rancher Ron, these guys, they'd be over the top with what's going on here. Drew has done such amazing work here. He's worked tirelessly for, I don't know, the last several months. Seems every time I talk to him, he's like, "Oh, I'm just doing it. I gotta, you know."
Yeah.
And when people walk in now to the streets, it's like, holy buckets.
It looks great. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So, So Don says, "Hey, where are you now?" It looks fantastic. So we're at the Streets. This is the piano room, we call it. We're sitting around a grand piano. We could play it if we wanted to.
Just in case people thought this was a conference table and didn't believe me.
And that is absolutely the best I know on the piano. And then we, maybe next week we'll go live from the audio room. It's more industrial.
Oh yeah.
If it's just going to be 2 or 3 of us, we don't have guests. It's an easy one to do.
Yeah.
So we'll have it cool in there. But yeah, so this is an incredible space, and it's just cool. 1,600 feet of 3. We've got another room, Don. So next time you're in the area, get in touch. We'll show you. But we've got right next door through this wood wall, we've got a huge place where local bands can come and record.
Yep. The band studio it's awesome. It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
When you see it, like it's really impressive. You got the window. You're like, just sit here and watch this. This band practice.
So it's fun. Shayna, good point. No one needs to think anymore. Well, that's why you're watching the grounds. What did she say? Ever wonder how much creativity is stifled by the diversions of our tech? I don't know. I might battle you on that, Shayna. That may come as a surprise to you. I think that tech has created such an incredible amount of creativity, right?
It's just different.
Yep. And the reason that I say that, and now I will go, I've never been, this is me, this is Kent. I have never been a huge movie guy.
Okay.
right? My philosophy, and again, it's because I don't really like crowds or anything. My philosophy is, I don't know, it'll come out, I'll watch it on Netflix, whatever. I don't have to go get my feet sticky, sit in a chair where somebody else was farting. Then they came up with these cinemas where they have easy chairs and blankets.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't. That's like jumping in the backseat of somebody's '67 Impala. I don't.
Right. So you're in for a good time. I mean, right. there's no other reason to be in the backseat of that Impala.
Right. When they had the big bench seats.
Yeah.
But all the CGI stuff now.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything's done in front of a green screen. I mean,
mm-hmm.
So it's created a different level of acting, I suppose. But now everything's CGI'd and green screened, and what's real, what's not.
Even half of the suits of like you used to watch a superhero movie, they're not even wearing the suit.
Oh, is that right?
They edit that onto them. They're wearing a green suit with a bunch of balls everywhere so that it can track their arms and limbs.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's if you ever want to really laugh, watch behind the scenes of any Avengers movie. Really? It is hysterical. It is hysterical because they have to be, and props because they have to be just as dramatic. But they have a green screen. Yeah. They've got no idea of the setting around them, and they're all wearing goofy alien costumes, like with these sensor balls all over it.
Absolutely. Well, actually, Scott's usually on the other side, so I think that.
I got the Scott seat. So.
Yeah. Shane says, I think of people who used to tinker in the garage that are now on a screen. Yeah, there's that different creativity. If you come over to my house,
God bless you.
Thank you. If you come over to my house, half of my garage stall is all shop.
Yeah.
Right? Tools, saws, wood. I still tinker a lot and do a lot of that. I enjoy that. So.
There is something to be said about how cheap the hobby of screen time in any variety is comparatively to the hobby of being a tinkerer in your garage.
Yeah.
Fixing cars is not cheap.
Nope.
Like small motors. There's a woodworking even.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of hobbies. Don't get me wrong. I still have my expensive hobbies, but when you pay $60 for
hookers are expensive.
You're going to the wrong spot. I got a couple numbers. So man, you want to talk about innovation. Let's talk about Blue Pages Online. But no, you pay $60 for a video game, you get 100 hours of playtime out of it.
Yeah.
And very often that's social time as well. If you're playing with somebody else, 100, 200 hours for a $60 investment, that's nothing. That I do think is why, people are going in that direction a lot more increasingly, not just the graphics and, the more entertainment value, but just it is one of the cheapest hobbies you can have.
Yeah, you take a look at a lot of those games on your phone and whatnot. It's like, hey, $2.99 for this many credits. I always laugh. I'm like, man, people are paying real money for not real things.
Yep.
But then I go, I don't know. I dropped quarters into a video game back at the arcade back in the day,
right?
Or at Aladdin's Castle, if you put $1 in, you got 5 tokens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get one for free.
Like, hey,
If I had Dave & Buster's, they've done those swipe cards since forever. Yeah. I mean, it's been 30 years they've been using the swipe cards.
Yeah.
I will go through my entire swipe card in Time Crisis. Like, do you want another life? Yeah, of course I want another life. You just killed me at the end. Like, I'm going to get the other life. Swipe. Like, die immediately. Swipe,
Damn it.
Yeah. Damn it.
That's it. Yep. But I mean, so there is that, but so we've uncovered a few new things, but I'm still trying to figure out, is there anything truly new? And
that's it. It's just we've improved upon what works. We've seen things that sell. We've increased those. That's where the money is where the innovation is.
Yeah.
And we really don't see, like, if you're looking at movies, TV shows, cars, there really isn't anything new.
Right.
That has been out. It's just all recreating things that were from our past that worked. The nostalgia is crazy.
Oh, yeah, I like what Shayna says. Necessity, being the mother of all invention, puts us at a disadvantage. We seldom are without what we need. How many MacGyver types are left? That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Old man Jenkins down there, two bubble gum, piece of bubble gum, a straw, and
Yeah.
he had your motor running.
Well, and the things that are new that people are working on, Shayna nailed it. There's no necessity for them.
Right.
So I'm sure there are plenty of people right now that I know are working on fantastically astounding projects. And if it ever becomes popularized, we'll hear more about it and we can consider something new having happened. But there's no necessity for it. So that's why it's taken forever.
My dad and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. If we wanted to go down the realm of new, look at all the new psychological diagnoses, right? And my dad and I were talking about, I don't know, are they new or do we make shit up to give people something to research and look into? Right?
Yeah.
Anxiety's been around forever. Guess what? You dealt with it.
Yeah.
Right? Schizophrenia, been around forever.
It has, yeah.
She's a crazy old cat lady. Just let her talk to herself, right? Bipolar, but now are we creating diagnoses for things to make sure that people have jobs? There was a point in American history where more people went to school to become engineers and creators.
Yeah.
Now more people, I'm graduating with a psychology degree. I'm graduating with a philosophy degree.
Yep.
And you're like, and now, are we creating quote unquote new things or labeling things differently to make people feel good, to make sure that if you want new, take a look at the side effects from several of the medications that are out there. Hey, do you suffer from anxiety? Take this pill and you'll have dry mouth, bad breath, diarrhea, nausea.
Fads are always technically new-ish, but it's just somebody hopping on the bandwagon. Like, all right, you mentioned all the drugs and diagnoses. I mean, what was it, 25 years ago, every kid on the planet had ADHD. Every single, and I did this conversation with a friend of mine recently, and he takes medication for it, and he has ADHD, and I was like, okay. And he's like, no, it's like a very serious problem in my life. And I know in his mind it is, and that a doctor has prescribed this for him. I mean, he's almost 40 years old, basically says, he can't function without Adderall. But because, and the reason I told him, he's like, well, a lot of people don't take it seriously. And I was like, well, there's a very good reason why people don't take it seriously. Is because when we were growing up, every child on the planet had ADHD. They gave away Ritalin like they were candy.
Oh, yeah.
So now,
as dispensers.
Right. So now when somebody says, "Oh, I have ADHD," it's like, okay, do you really, or did they use a really overused, inefficient, lazy diagnosis for whatever you had? Or maybe you were just a kid with a lot of natural kid energy. Kids have energy. They're not necessarily hyperactive. Right. Like we don't necessarily need to medicate them. And if you do absolutely need the medicine and you're 40 years old and the doctor is still telling you like, yeah, you can't function without it. Like, I do feel bad, because nobody is going to take. It's like when you walk into a bar and you actually are one of the 0.05% of people that have celiacs, and you go, I really can't have gluten. It's like, right, but right. You and every other 40-year-old Karen on the planet just walked in and 0.05% of the population. Why are 95% of people saying they have celiacs?
Well, right. And or now it's like, oh, hey, here's some anxiety medicine for your dog.
Right. Oh my God. I will tell you, my dog needed anxiety medication, tore up the house during a thunderstorm, like would dig like crazy, incessant, would dig through tiles and stuff.
Your puppy?
Yeah. No, not my new puppy. I had a dog. Her name was Freckles. Yeah. And she would get into, during a storm or fireworks, she would find an area of the house where nobody would stop her, and she would dig through tiles until her like toenails bled. You give her half a doggy Xanax, she's.
You know how to cure that. Just take her out back and shoot some guns over her head.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that would work.
That's it.
that's actually a good recommendation for any rescue.
Or child. I mean,
we're animal experts here on the show.
Take them out to the gun. All right. Heather says, I think if you go back in history, everyone probably thought there was nothing new to be discovered because they couldn't conceive of what there could be. We are probably in the same place. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, look, we got a thing roving on Mars or Iceland, whichever one you want to call it, that looks at, because we don't know. We don't know what the terrain of Mars looks like, but it does oddly look like Iceland, but never mind. I'm just saying that, we've got the technology to beam satellite from Mars to here. And we like that. And so it's like, see, NASA, that's why they get billions of dollars.
Yeah. What a crock. In the spirit of discovery, how about the 80% of our oceans that we haven't explored? What were you gonna say? And I'm not talking about the Marianas Trench, which is where the aliens are hiding.
That's correct.
I'm talking about everywhere else that has.
Shana says, can anxiety be weaponized? Can your brain be manipulated by a directed frequency? You don't know what's new until it's not, especially if profit and power is at stake. Oh yeah, no, they've been using frequency. I forget what it's called. A lot of people, high-ranking officials in the Americas, when they go, I don't know what they call it, Tennessee or I don't know, Knox, I don't know, whatever.
They've been trying that forever, though.
Yeah. There is that, and yes, it can. We had a dog that freaked out during storms and fireworks too. We did have to drug her. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, why not? Because we know how dogs think.
Yeah. Have you seen?
Give her a little bit of pot.
Have you seen the documentary they did on, like, I think it was PC Ultra or whatever? It was the CIA's experiments using frequencies and drugs, and to like awaken sleeper agents. Yeah. Hysterical. Like the fact that the things that these people have tried over time, like, is just nuts.
It is.
And we assume it didn't work, but like, did it? We'll never know.
We'll never know. There's a weird phenomenon.
MK Ultra. Thank you, Shayna.
MK.
Of course, Shayna's right there with it. Right. She's like MK Ultra.
With Shayna with the sports reference coming in here. So there is a weird phenomenon where once a record is broken, it becomes more common. Remember Devin Hester's run backs? Now it's common. They had to change the rules because of Devin Hester. But yeah, I mean, you take a look at back in the day. If you ran a 4-minute mile, they said your heart would explode until they ran a 4-minute mile. And then once somebody ran a 4-minute mile, it was like 90 people that year ran a 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, as soon as it comes down, it's, here we go. Right. It back in the 80s, nobody had ever repeated in the NBA, back-to-back championships since the Celtics in the 60s. And then in the 80s, and now everybody wins 2 in a row.
Yeah.
It seems like, here we go. Right. So yeah, that's huge.
You weren't a Chicago guy in the 90s, were you?
No, I hated. I'm still not a Bulls fan.
Well, no, because you weren't here for the only time that would have made you a Bulls fan.
No, I'm a Lakers fan through and through. I was never a Michael Jordan fan.
Oh, okay,
Mike, I appreciate you listening in. Respected his talent, just was never a fan.
Okay,
right. And I was probably never a fan. If he wore purple and gold, I would have been a big fan.
One of the best teams though overall. Rodman, Pippen, Longley.
Yeah.
We had some really solid players during the 90s, and then of course never been done since.
Right. No, the phenomenal thing to me is that team. People beat themselves before the game even started. Like, oh shit, we're playing the Bulls,
right?
And they're like, oh, they already beat themselves.
No, and they did it. You could tell because Michael Jordan left, and everyone was like, all right, we can win now. He comes back. They're like, oh well, this is the dream team is back again.
Not a Jordan fan at all. I don't even own a pair of Jordans. So a lot of people have. I don't. Never bought. Never bought a pair of Jordans.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the clothing. But
phenomenal. Listen, I can tell you that there was outside of he and Kobe, I've never seen anybody that has said, "Okay, give me the ball. I don't care how many people are going to guard me. I'm not going to miss for the next 3 minutes." And he wouldn't. I mean, his ability, like I said, I respected him. Didn't was not a fan though.
Yeah.
Right. Also, not a Larry Bird fan. Respected what he did. Not a Larry Bird fan, right? And now I look back at some things and I go, how did I not? Well, I didn't like Larry Bird because he was a Celtic.
Right.
I mean, from college, I was a Magic Johnson fan. Magic Johnson went to high school with my uncle. I lived in Michigan at the time he was in. I watched Magic Johnson play in high school. So, Larry Bird was the archenemy in 1979 in the NCAA championship, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, right? Larry Bird got Rookie of the Year. Magic Johnson didn't, but Magic Johnson did win the championship his rookie year, and Bird didn't, right? But anyway, so I always respected him. I could never like him. And Jordan, there's several reasons for me. I won't get into on this show, but we could do another show at some time. But never a Jordan fan.
We should do a show on people that everyone loves that we might have a differing opinion on. That would be a good one.
I mean, there's an orange guy we could talk about.
Well, does that fall under peanut butter?
Yeah. Mine too, Don. Magic is my favorite all-time player too. Yeah, I just and now he's always been. I mean, I had to take 3 days off when he announced his retirement because of HIV. It devastated me pretty hard, but now, oddly enough, he's anyway. Another thing. But
was it you who said that 85 is overused because it was actually 86?
Yes,
for the Bears.
Right.
Yeah, not the 85 Bears, 86 Bears.
They won it in 86. So if you were to go here, Mike versus Kareem versus Kobe versus LeBron, Kareem all day long. There's nobody who's had a front to back basketball career like Kareem. Kareem didn't. He won 3 city championships in New York as a kid. In high school, he never lost a game in college.
Yeah,
he was 3-time finals. I mean, his book of his is just way too good. Kareem, if you're going to look for a GOAT, just front to back.
Yeah, and if we're moving to acting career, Airplane is a better movie than Space Jam.
Yeah, which one?
Airplane with Leslie Nielsen.
Oh yeah, much better than Space Jam.
Kareem's the pilot.
I know.
It's
much better. There is a different basketball diary.
No.
Yeah.
With Shayna, don't even start right now.
Right.
We are not talking about basketball diaries with Leo DiCaprio.
Right.
Oh my God. Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
it's horrifying.
Right there is the quintessential Bears fan. I know you're a Chiefs guy, but 85 is the season. No, they won. They always say won the Super Bowl in 85. No, you won the Super Bowl in 86. But they got to the Super Bowl because of what they did in 85.
See, there we go.
Yeah, here we go. Roger Murdoch, the co-pilot. Listen, to me, that's why I love quote unquote a lot of conspiracies because we think that they're new.
Yeah.
Right. I don't read a lot of fiction.
Okay.
Right. I know you and Drew are fiction people, love the comics. Love the fiction. I love investigating. I'm curious by nature.
Yeah.
So like when I was down in Dallas, and with Rancher Ron, he took me to.
You're talking about JFK?
Yeah, he took me there, and you start looking at things, and now the book depository is a museum, and you can go up onto the 6th floor, the floor right above where the shots were quote unquote fired out, and you go, well, if I was going to kill somebody, I would not shoot him at this direction. I would have got him here. Ping, 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 ping. Right? I'm not killing anybody. But then again, take a watch of the octopus.
Yeah.
Look at the octopus murders.
You guys got to watch that before the 17th, 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's when we're talking about it.
Because there's some stuff in there you go, right? Now again, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's real? What's not?
Well, and then also, I think what a clever ploy, because there's people who think this earth is flat, and there's also people that believe certain political conspiracies. And how easy is it to just compare the two if you're the government and say, oh yeah, well, I bet you believe the earth is flat too. And it's like, well, hey, actually this thing I'm talking about has a lot of evidence to back it up. Oh yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist. What a great term.
And then the next week on the grounds, we're like, what happened to Steve?
Right.
Anybody heard from Steve lately?
He died driving through a tunnel in mid-August. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Don says, yep. It has gotten confusing with the Chiefs and what years as they keep winning. Yeah, I know. But we still have 85. Cheap fake is trending. Thank you. Oh my God. You know what, Shana, you and I could talk for hours on this. They're not calling it a deep fake now. They're calling it a cheap fake. In other words, you're just taking clips. So just people are saying, this person isn't necessarily incoherent. You're just taking clips out of context.
Well,
so it's not a deep fake; it's a cheap fake.
I like that. It's we could go for a long time on that. Oh. But see, even when people think conspiracy theories are new, they're not. They've been around forever. So as soon as something comes out, there's going to be a subset of people.
The term conspiracy theory has not, though. That came out 3 days from the New York Times after Kennedy was shot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
The term itself?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That is fantastic.
Yeah. There's something to chew on. That might be new to you.
Oh, that's See, we discovered something new.
Yeah. Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah. Cheap fake. But that's the fun part, right? I'll do that all the time, and your social media, your social media stream is full of this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're sitting here like, okay. Right, like Caitlin Clark. Everybody knows Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin, thank you for tuning in. Good luck tonight. I know you're down in Atlanta, but thank you for tuning in. Everybody's upset that she didn't make it wasn't put on the United States Olympic team.
Yeah,
and there's things out there like the United States women's basketball team has lost $60 million in money
funding.
And I'm like. Hey, nothing says I'm proud to be an American more than I'm pulling my money because I'm not getting what I want to get. You're not going to play my game. I'm taking my ball and going home. Nothing says we're American more than that. Love them. I hope they win, but you're not getting my millions. No. I don't know. Listen, we're right on the back end of this. We know we started a little late, but we've got to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, come back at 3:00 for sure. As we put a bow, as we put the final broadcast on the McHenry studio, where since 2018. So for the last 6 years, 216 Creator Studios, 216 The Net has lived, breathed, and been. It's going to be a good one, but it's a good topic. Failure to overcome.
Right? In the know, finishing it out strong for the studio, huh?
Yep, in the know. They've been around. They are our longest running show at this point. They've been around forever. Steph and Joe are just incredible people, incredible entrepreneurs, and it's going to be a good show. But it will be the sign off from that studio.
And I did want to say a huge thanks to Mike with Let's Go Racing.
Yeah,
went out to the races. Called my name over the loudspeaker, gave a shout out to the grounds. It was really cool. My father-in-law was there. My wife was there. They were freaking out. And he's like, oh, we got Steve Slagle in the house. And I felt like Jeff Goldblum at a Lakers game. I was like, yeah, let's go. It was really cool. His show is Wednesday.
Yep.
You can check him out Wednesday at 6.
Good stuff. Listen, for all of us here at the grounds, everyone at 216 Creator Studios, for our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness and JH Events and Flowers, for Aegis Solutions, DCCS, all the people involved in making this great thing happen. We appreciate you for joining us and stick around. There's more to come.
Fantastic.